Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people walk into a room and instantly the energy changes. Nobody interrupts them. Nobody talks over them. Nobody dares to disrespect them. And it's not because they're the loudest person there, not because they're richer, more famous, or physically stronger. So, what is it? What's the secret habit that makes toxic people suddenly become careful around certain individuals? Because, trust me, it's not luck. There's a silent psychological trait, a behavior so powerful that the moment you develop it, people start treating you differently. More respect, more attention, more caution. And the crazy part? Most people spend their entire lives without ever learning it. That's why they keep getting ignored, manipulated, and emotionally drained. But today, that changes. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover the one habit that quietly builds unshakable respect without shouting, without begging, and without trying to prove anything to anyone. Look, disrespect doesn't always come with yelling or obvious insults. Sometimes it's much quieter than that. It's the ignored text messages, the fake smiles, the jokes that secretly humiliate you, the constant interruptions when you speak, or the feeling that nobody truly values your presence. And over time, something dangerous starts happening. You begin doubting yourself. You start shrinking your personality, staying quiet, avoiding confrontation, pretending things don't hurt, when deep down, they actually do. Until one day, you realize you've become invisible in rooms where you deserve respect. But here's the truth most people never hear. People treat you based on the standards you silently accept. And in this video, I'm going to show you the one powerful habit that changes how people see you almost instantly. Not manipulation, not aggression, not fake alpha behavior, just one mental shift that changes your energy, your presence, and the way people respond to you. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at disrespect the same way again. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most disrespect doesn't happen overnight. It begins quietly, almost invisibly. Nobody wakes up thinking, let me disrespect this person today. No. It starts with small moments. One boundary you didn't defend, one fake laugh to avoid tension, one moment where someone crossed the line and you stayed silent, even though it hurt. And people notice that, maybe not consciously, but psychologically they do. Human beings naturally test limits in friendships, relationships, family, even workplaces. Think about it. Why do toxic people keep targeting the same individuals? Because they sense hesitation. They sense fear of conflict. They sense someone who struggles to say enough. And the moment people realize you won't protect your own value, their behavior slowly changes around you. Now listen carefully. Being too nice is not always kindness. Sometimes it's fear wearing a polite mask. Have you ever stayed quiet just to keep the peace while your self-respect suffered in silence? That changes people's perception of you, because when you constantly ignore your own worth, others slowly begin ignoring it too. But here's the important part. Standing up for yourself doesn't mean becoming rude, and that's exactly where most people get confused. When people feel disrespected, they usually fall into two dangerous extremes. Either they stay completely silent, pretending nothing bothered them, or they explode emotionally. They yell, get defensive, start proving themselves, say things they later regret. But here's the problem. Both reactions quietly destroy respect, because silence teaches people You can cross my boundaries and I'll still tolerate it. And emotional outbursts, they make it look like other people control your emotions. Powerful people do neither. They master one rare skill: calm boundaries. That's the habit. Simple, but life-changing. Not anger, not intimidation, not fake alpha energy, just calm certainty. And honestly, that kind of energy unsettles toxic people more than shouting ever could, because toxic people feed on emotional reactions. The moment they realize they can't control your emotions anymore, their confidence weakens instantly. Imagine someone mocking you in public. Most people either fake laugh to fit in or immediately become emotional. But someone with real self-respect calmly says, "I don't appreciate that. That's it. No drama, no long explanation, no desperate defending, just clarity." And suddenly, the atmosphere changes, because true confidence is quiet. Weakness always feels the need to over-explain itself. Quick question: have you ever noticed something strange? The person with the most respect in the room usually isn't the loudest one. They're not trying to dominate conversations, not showing off, not demanding attention. In fact, they're usually the calmest person there. Why? Because emotional control creates psychological power. When someone stays calm under pressure, people instinctively see them as strong. But when someone reacts to everything emotionally, people sense weakness immediately, and that's the difference. Most people spend their lives trying to look powerful, while truly powerful people simply control themselves. And honestly, that level of calm is rare, which is exactly why it commands so much respect. Here's something most people never realize. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Now wait, that doesn't mean becoming weak or passive. It means stopping the desperate need to be understood by everyone. Because honestly, a lot of disrespect continues for one reason: people keep chasing validation from the wrong individuals. They argue endlessly, over-explain themselves, defend every little thing, hoping the other person will finally get it. But confident people understand a powerful truth: not everyone deserves access to your energy. And that mindset changes everything. Think about it. Have you ever tried explaining yourself to someone who constantly disrespects you? No matter how calmly you speak, they still twist your words. Why? Because respect isn't created through convincing people. It's created through standards. And standards are shown through behavior, not speeches. Sometimes, walking away calmly says more than 1,000 angry words ever could. That silence becomes powerful, because now they can't control your emotions anymore. And people naturally respect what they cannot emotionally manipulate. Now let's go deeper. The habit that truly changes your entire presence is surprisingly simple. Never rush to react emotionally. That's it. Simple. But extremely rare in today's world. Most people react instantly. Someone criticizes them, immediate anger. Someone ignores them, immediate insecurity. Someone disrespects them, immediate emotional chaos. But emotionally strong people do something different. They pause. And that small pause creates massive power, because reactions are emotional, but responses are intentional. And intentional people naturally command respect. Think about the strongest people you've ever met. Do they react to every comment, every insult, every opinion? No. They observe first. They control themselves first, because self-control creates authority. And here's the dangerous truth: the more emotionally reactive you become, the easier you are to manipulate. That's exactly why toxic people provoke others. They want emotional control, but the moment you become emotionally disciplined, their power over you starts disappearing completely. Let me tell you a quick story. There were two employees working in the same office, both intelligent, both hardworking, both talented, but people treated them completely differently. The first employee wanted everyone to like him. He said yes to everything, avoided uncomfortable conversations, and laughed even when people made disrespectful jokes about him. People smiled around him. But deep down, nobody truly respected him. Now, the second employee was different. He was calm, respectful, but firm. If someone crossed the line, he addressed it politely. If someone wasted his time, he didn't entertain it. If something felt disrespectful, he spoke up without anger. And slowly, the entire office treated him differently. People became more careful around him, more respectful, more aware of how they spoke to him. Why? Because he trained people how to treat him. That sentence is powerful. Every interaction teaches people your standards. And once you realize that, you start moving differently. But wait, there's still one final piece most people completely ignore. And without it, none of this truly works. Here's the secret most people never realize. The way you speak to yourself, quietly, determines what you tolerate from others. That's the hidden root of everything. Because when someone secretly feels unworthy inside, they unconsciously accept disrespect they should reject. That's why some people keep ending up in toxic friendships, toxic relationships, and draining environments. Not because they're weak, but because they never learned their true value. And the moment you genuinely respect yourself, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your decisions change. Even your silence feels different. People can sense self-respect without you saying a word. It's an energy. That's why some individuals barely speak. Yet, everyone respects them automatically because their presence says, I know my worth. No begging for attention, no chasing approval, no proving themselves constantly. And suddenly, people become more careful with how they treat them because confidence rooted in self-respect is impossible to ignore. So here's the truth nobody talks about. The habit that makes people truly respect you is emotional self-control combined with clear boundaries. That's the real secret. Not aggression, not dominance, not trying to intimidate everyone around you. Because real power is calm, and real confidence is controlled. The strongest people aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who refuse to lose themselves just to keep others comfortable. The moment you stop tolerating disrespect to avoid conflict, your entire presence changes. People notice it. Your energy becomes different. Your standards become visible, and something powerful happens. The day you start protecting your peace is the day people start becoming careful about how they treat you. At the end of the day, people will always test your boundaries. That's part of life. But your response teaches them exactly who you are. Remember this carefully. Every time you stay silent about something that genuinely hurts you, you slowly teach yourself that your feelings don't matter. But every time you calmly stand up for yourself, you build self-respect. And little by little, moment by moment, your entire presence begins to change. Not because you became aggressive, but because you stopped abandoning yourself. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't panic, don't explode emotionally, and don't beg to be understood. Pause, stay calm, and respond with self-respect. Because that single habit can completely transform how people see you. And more importantly, how you see yourself. If this video spoke to you in any way, take 1 second and hit the like button. and subscribe for more videos about psychology, confidence, human behavior, and mastering your mindset. Because trust me, the way people treat you can completely change once you learn how to value yourself properly. Also, comment below. Self-respect changes everything. I really want to know who's choosing today to stop accepting disrespect, stop shrinking themselves, and finally protect their peace. And never forget this: the moment you truly respect yourself, your energy changes, your presence changes, and slowly, the world begins treating you differently too.